Just walk up next to it and do this. Yeah. No, but sideways that way.
That way?
Yeah, kick the way the arrows. But I need to see you. I got you. You got your back to me. You always have your back to me.
Because my right leg is my left leg.
Well, you have to kick with your left leg then. You're a dancer. Yeah. Wait, one more time. Do it again. Kick it again. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, you kicked it for. Oh, yeah. Today's the day. Ooh. Got a bunch of white going in. That's good. I earned every one of these. Today's the day. We're getting this property, son. I'm excited. Nervous and excited at the same time.
Nervous?
I can't. Yeah, I'm nervous. Well, because unfortunately, nobody in my family has ever done anything as monumental as what we're trying to do. I've owned houses.
I've owned houses.
I've never owned land.
I've never owned land either. Well, I've owned the land that my house was on.
No, the bank owned it.
Technically, yes.
This is the point. It feels like it's yours, but it's not really yours. And even this isn't going to be really ours.
Not for 4 years.
But it'll be really ours in only like 4 years versus 30 years. And that's the point. It's not really yours unless you own it. If you're paying taxes on it, but that's all you're paying, then you own it. It's yours. If you're paying taxes and a mortgage, it's not yours. Growing up, we always rented. So just the thought of the both of us having something that's like that can be kept in the family, like legit, just scenario, right?
Scenario.
6 years from now, we're both in a horrible, catastrophic car accident.
Whoa!
Takes us both out. We have something already that we're able to leave behind to our families. It's a piece of the earth. Who says that land is yours to sell to begin with?
This land is my land.
And technically, from what they say, it's an
philosophical
infinite amount of universes, which means there's an infinite amount of planets. This Earth, we're creatures, we're animals. We buy and build nests.
Domicile.
Who on Earth says just because we're human beings that we can just take this land and say, yeah, this is ours.
This is mine.
That's that. And I now stake claim to this land to be able to sell it to somebody.
That was my flag.
Yeah, planting the flag. But I will say that because that's the way it is, it's exciting to know that we will own a piece of the earth. And we can do with what we will aside from building nuclear weapons.
What?
Okay, well, the deed is done. Quite literally. I made a pun. The deed. Special shout out to my new best friend Gary Berry, who allowed us to purchase this property from him.
No shout out to me.
You make everything possible, but you did not own this land.
And you do now.
And you didn't agree to sell it to us.
I do now.
You do now. So we are.
Well, you do now.
Well, no, we do. And I'm putting it on, I'm documenting it right now. This is our shit. It just has my name on it. Once we're married, though, all that goes out the window. Name shmame.
What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine.
Name shmame. So yeah, anyway, long story short, the check has been submitted, the paperwork finalized, the property 'tis ours.
That's my hook. Because you made it sound like a pirate thing.
Our matey.
'Tis ours.
We're gonna head out to the property. We'll do some more filming out there. You guys won't know what the hell it is you're looking at, but it still must be done for the fans of our YouTube channel, all 5 of them. But yeah, we're excited. This is a monumental occasion. Couldn't have done it without you. Now you just have to be patient and wait for me to build everything that needs to be built.
Yikes.
And not be like, you get it done yet?
Are you done yet?
Are you done yet? Is that done yet?
Are you done
Will you
yet?
do this first? Do this first.
Do it.
You see that pole tensioner right there? That little yellow thing, okay? From there all the way to about there. And about 800 feet straight back. So we're here. Look at it in all of its glory.
All the trees.
All of you are probably like, they are crazy. I'll believe it. Right? We are friggin' nuts. I love it. It's awesome. So where we're standing right now, as you can see, is pretty clear.
For the most part.
For the most part. This area that we're standing in right now, I'll take a walk, and this is going to be
The potential home site.
house location, yes. If you look down there, you can see it drops off pretty severe. But if you look up there,
It's much higher.
it's much higher. So the idea is to take the dirt from up there, carve it, and push it down in there to get us
A little more level. Level us out.
a little more level of an area and a lot bigger of a playing field. The house is going to be, the main house is going to be 50 feet front to back by 45 feet left to right. So we need that stamp in here, plus enough for a yard and a spot for the tiny house. Yeah, so where Ashley's showing you right now is about
where we're going to put the driveway.
Driveways will be going.
Which is on the right edge? Yeah.
Yep.
The right edge of the property.
The right edge of the property.
To where it'll run all the way from the front, which obviously you can't see the total front because we kind of walked back in here a bit. But it'll run all the way the length of the property to where we have a turnoff area for our house, and then it'll keep going back because it goes way, way back in there for like our garage and work areas.
If you look up there, now imagine all of this is down a little lower, and we've leveled some things out. Trees are gone.
Flatter. Trees are gone.
Okay.
Aw, bye trees.
Up in that area right there,
I like that tree.
where we're way uphill, is going to be the location of the water tank. We'll be building a hip roof up there with a nice big sandy pad that'll be a little bit bigger than our tank. We're looking at like a 5,000 gallon plastic holding tank that's suitable for potable water, of course. And then building a hip roof over the top of it with gutters on all 4 sides. And there's a formula that I'll share with you guys right here that you can calculate how many gallons per square foot of roof space you can develop depending on how much rain is falling at that time. So the idea is to get that.
I hope it doesn't rain for 3 days straight.
The idea is to get that done first, so that this way we have our little driveway area and our little water tank and filtration set up there done.
So that we
and
can.
It's starting to collect.
Yep.
Starting to fill that tank up.
Before we move here.
Before we move here, also before we start work. Because it would be nice to have water on site here in case you get thirsty while you're working on everything else.
And that's also, we're gonna have like a separate, like almost storage building type thing built to where we will have all of the water filtration systems and all of that set up, to where it's all in, all of the water essential stuff is all in one location. So don't come at us for the zombie apocalypse our water.
We'll have a chain link fence around it, around that, and our pump house and everything. That'll keep everything safe and keep people out. 5,000 gallons at 8 pounds per gallon. Do the math. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll put it down here somewhere. It's a lot of water, a lot of weight. Now imagine 5,000 gallons uphill running down a pipe about that big around.
Pressure.
Lots of pressure.
Under pressure.
Showers are gonna be amazing. We'll put a pressure regulator. We'll pretty much have whatever we need for water pressure coming off of that. 5,000 gallon uphill. No mechanics whatsoever needed other than the filtration. Yeah. Okay, so this is be our home site. This is where it's gonna happen. Driveway will be right over there, coming on off the road. We'll have lots of trees to clear to get ready for a tiny house with a solar setup. But it's already pretty bright in here right now.
I'd say we're getting decent sunlight, and it's a bright sunny day.
I think we lucked out.
You can tell.
This is a really good spot. If you look down there, there's already a dry creek bed when it rains like crazy. Probably can't see it in the footage, but it's down there. So if we can divert all of our water
down there somewhere.
Down there, that's great. Good thing we know somebody who's educated in complex drainage.
Swear to God, if I see a snake, I'm running. I'm done.
Stay away from piles of sticks and sticks that move.
I don't want to see a stick that
moves. The moving sticks. So right now if you look at the ground here, you can see that there's evidence of like water rushing down here. Okay, this is that dry creek bed that I was talking about.
It goes down that way.
Yeah, if you look, you can't really see it, I'm sure, but right where my finger is up in there is the crest of the hill where the house is going to be located. So if you imagine a lot of this stuff being cleared out, we're going to have a really cool view off of our back porch of all this creek bed area and wildlife that might come down here.
Which, when we were getting a lot of rain earlier this year, this creek bed was actually like full of water. I mean, not full, but you could definitely see it running downhill.
The fact that this property drops so much, and we'll show you a little bit better here in a second, provides us with a natural spring as well. There is a spring here on this property that we're going to be able to utilize to actually get water from to fill up our tank. There's a process
if needed.
There's a process that you can do that's called a spring well, where you use gravel and sand to kind of filter out some stuff before you pump it up to your tank. And then once it gets to the tank, it's just as good as rainwater, filters through everything else, and then you can drink it. So here's the first evidence of an underground spring.
Look at that.
The reason why...
Stagnant, but...
The reason
exists.
Yeah. So it's stagnant, but only because the amount of pressure from the water that's sitting there is too heavy for there to be current coming in from underground. But
Well, no, it goes up higher. Right
if
there.
I were to take a machine down in here and rip all those roots and dig all that stuff out and throw gravel in there and put a pump in there, we could utilize the clean water as it's coming out, pump it up the hill to our tank. That's just one location. There is underground spring evidence number 1. Now, probably 40 feet from there is evidence of underground spring number 2. Okay, so there's enough pressure of water to kind of dig out and for it to show its face. Now imagine that tree is going to have to go anyway because she's big and she's being undermined by this water. The hole that will have to be dug to get this tree out of here is definitely going to be substantial. Yet another perfect location for a spring well. And with this water feature, or this spring here, we'll go down there to that little sandbar, but you can see that there is actually current running off of this one. The water from over there,
Soft there.
careful,
So you know.
runs here, and then water follows to pass the least resistance. So, as you can see right there, and you can probably hear it if you listen close. That, my friends, is called current. Come take a look, booby.
I can see that.
So, the water goes into that hole and another hole underneath these leaves and works its way and finds its way out to here.
It's all super wet.
Location number 3. So, if you could imagine the removal of all of this sediment and the widening and the dredging, you would be combining 1, 2, 3 different locations into one solid, uninterrupted stream of water. Okay? Stick with me now, folks. This runs again into these holes and this perforation in the ground. Pops out right there. And then from here, it gets really wet. So you can see it right there. Look at that. See that? With the proper drainage techniques and grading, that can be turned into a lot heavier of a flow. No doubt. The only reason why it's flowing like that is because it has all of this dirt to contend with. If we removed all of this dirt, the previous 3 sites would then combine with this one, which would combine with that one, and the water gets more prevalent the further down the creek bed we go. We're talking about lots of fresh spring water. So once this is all dredged out, we'll figure out where the max source is coming from. Where's the most water showing its face up and out of the ground, basically coming up to the surface. And right there we dam it up. We dam it up with cinder blocks or whatever,
And then the back of that dam we fill with gravel. And then we put a perforated hard plastic pipe inside that gravel. And what happens is the water seeps through the gravel, removing large chunk contaminants and tree bark and sap and that kind of stuff. That all sticks to the rock while the water starts passing through. Then the water gets to that perforated pipe, and that pipe is wrapped also in a landscape fabric, which takes out some more pollutants and nasty things we don't want. That pipe then quite literally drops into a tank that will be made as like a holding tank or a culvert with like one end blocked off. And when that fills up, you have an automatic pump that has a float switch. That automatic pump with the float switch kicks on and pumps the water back up the hill to our water tank. Now there may be a need for some stages because of head pressure and how much weight will be in the pipe having to run uphill. That's all experimental. It's all stuff that we will sort out as things progress. We'll have a couple different ones. We'll start with the closest one. We'll make a well there for the spring water. And then we'll go down a little further when we have some spare money and some spare time. Make another one. Pump that one up to the first one. And so on until all of the water you just saw is being utilized. And any overflow that we might have, we will drop back into the spring, and it will eventually make its way back into our tanks and eventually back up to our main holding tank. Oh, look what I found in her newly acquired native habitat. The last area will be my daily celebration of the Second Amendment. And that will be right back here. This hill, I'm planning on carving out an area where we can shoot our guns into the hill for safety. I'm thinking I might do a storage container and cut the side out so we can shoot in the rain, and also so I can lock up anything that I would want to bring down here with me so I don't have to keep carrying it around. But go down here. Probably somewhere amongst this area. You can see, boom. Now I'm holding the phone dead level. You can see how uphill this all is. If I could carve a lot of this and flatten it out, I could probably put in a good 50 yards or so worth of shooting. And then also, if I angle it properly, I can put another area to shoot and clear a lane that goes all the way up there. And we probably get a couple of 100 yards worth of target shooting. See that forked tree right there? That forked tree is close to the back right hand corner of the property. We own all the way up to midway up that hill and across there. And guess what? If you look real close, you can see our only neighbor back here. He's way back there. You can't even see him. Give me a kiss. We did it. It's happening, folks. Yeah. I'm excited. Now I just need to make lots of money.
Money, 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 money.
Thanks for this walk in the woods. Yeah. We're about
Okay, bye.
we're about the halfway point right now. Let's walk and see how long it takes for us to get to the street. And then we'll time lapse it and put some Benny Hill on it.